Hello. Hello. And I'm ready to cook a soup because it's fall time. Stir it up.
What kind of soup?
When it gets cold, I like to really lean into fall and make some soups. I cook a ton of soup at once because I can't cook in small portions, even though I live in a small house. We're gonna be making Thai butternut squash soup. And it's one of my favorites because it's so easy, but it's also very delicious. And you can make a lot of it at once, which is always a plus. I'll just show you what we're working with. 1 peeled butternut squash that I just cubed up, and that's a whole one there. 2 medium-sized onions and 2 bell peppers. I have a can of curry paste here. This says it's 4 ounces, but you know, roughly that amount I think would work for this amount of food. Coconut milk, chicken broth, cilantro, limes, and if you really want to get crazy, peanuts. I have sad news. I'm leaving the tiny house. We just found out yesterday in a very passive-aggressive letter. You know it's not good news when someone texts you, "I wrote you mail," and they're your landlord, and they live 50 feet to your right. We've had a good run, house. No, this is a cool house though. We've kind of got really lucky, and whenever I tell someone I live in a tiny house, they're like, "What?" The next episode is gonna be when we find a nice street to live on. I'm gonna get a couple gas burners. I'm gonna invite Dirty Mike and the boys down from the streets. And we're gonna be cooking probably squirrels mostly, and then some crow. So we'll have our poultry and your mammal in there. It's gonna be called Kieran Cook's Homeless Edition. That's gonna be a hit with all the homeless population that has internet. It's so pretty. Look at it. Look at it. We have 2 lofts. We have this extra spare loft, and outside we sleep up here, and you have to climb a little ladder, and there's a little TV up there, and it's very cozy. But altogether the house is probably like a story and a half, so when you get up there you can't really sit up straight. But then we have this full counter, like it's one huge continuous wooden slab, which is actually like way bigger than you'd expect in a tiny home. And then like kind of a small stove and an even smaller oven. I would call this a couch, but it's more of a seat because I don't really fit on it. It's so small. So I'm doing this half to show you guys, but also to kind of document it for myself since I never took very good pictures of this place. But I want to show you the rest of our place because it's actually really cool. We have like a little backyard. It's amazing. And I built this fire pit because we had extra bricks laying around. We have a plum tree, wood that we've cut, compost area, garden box that we built, herbs, strawberry patch, lavender. It's a really cool little backyard. Okay. So what I'm gonna do here is we're gonna put this guy on low. This is my big burner. And I'll put a couple of dollops of the old coconut oil. So the first thing I'll do is just pop this all in there. And then we put in the onion and pepper mix. Forgot to mention there's also garlic in there. And you basically want to stir it so that it incorporates fully all over these vegetables. And then so now, I'm just gonna wait until those get translucent because we don't really want them to cook since we'll be doing cooking later. This is just putting them together. So it's been about 5 minutes. They're just starting to get translucent. And then very simply, we're just gonna add the rest of these guys. and spill a little over the side because life is not perfect. Mix it all together, kind of same thing as before. The spice oil combination has gotten onto everything. Now I'll turn the heat up all the way, and now we throw in our liquids. This is a 33-ounce container. I'm gonna put the whole thing in there. For 1 part coconut milk, 1/2 part broth. So now I'm just gonna wait till it comes to a boil, where I see stuff starts to kind of happen, and then I'm gonna throw it on low on simmer, pop the top, and wait about 15-ish minutes, and then I'll tell you what to do then. So it should look something like this. My test for what I know to stop cooking, if you can easily go through the butternut squash. If you wanted, you could salt and pepper that up and be done right there. And that would be a good soup. I'm gonna take it one extra step though. I have the luxury of owning a Vitamix. This thing is an absolute machine. Obviously it would work for any sort of blender, but basically I'm just gonna take that, add 1 part Vitamix, and get just such a velvety, smooth, just amazing soup. It's really good.
It's been on the stove for like 20 plus minutes. You just go and touch it. Okay.
There's a reason my hands are so fucked up. I got ding, 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 ding. That's it. This is why it's nice to have big bowls that I put the butternut squash in, because basically I'm going to use it as a transfer thing, since I'm not going to be able to fit all of that soup into the Vitamix. I like to just let it cool down for a little bit before I go straight to the blender. So, soup has cooled off. You probably want to do this with your ladle of choice. I've gone with Trevor, the ladle. That was bad. I did that so lazy. Just like slopped it over.
Stop. Any tips here?
Get it in. That tip always just applies.
Oh God.
Do it on half power once I get going, and run it for about 30 seconds. Part 2. That's so pretty. Peekaboo. Now this is basically ready to go. And all I think it needs is some lime and a little bit of cilantro, but the kicker is roasted peanuts. Just gonna heat this pan up on low, wait till it gets kind of hot, throw some peanuts in that mock. Because I like crunchy stuff so much, I usually do about a handful for every bowl. When you heat up the peanuts, you'll start to hear like little sizzling, and that's because the oil that's naturally in peanuts will start to release, and that's what you want, because that's what'll brown the bottom of the peanuts. What's that? Oh, that's wildly offensive. That's my thing, I take it too far. So this is roughly kind of the color you want. It just starts to get golden. You can take it darker if you want. It gets a little bit crunchier the darker you get it, but just be careful because they burn very easily. What I like to do is just chop them up. If you would like a bigger crunch, by all means, just throw them straight in. Take kind of a handful of these. Those are nice and warm. Sprinkle it right on. Throw just a dash. Nice good squeeze of lime. Ta-da!
Cute.
Now, to use our taste buds for good. Except there's a twist. Kalina's gonna try it. You're gonna try it. Give me the camera!
Should I stir it?
I don't know, it's your soup.
I want to get the sriracha flavor in there just a tad because I want the cake. I want to make sure I get some peanuts. Mmm. It's better than last time. It's so warm and cozy, and squash and peanuts are a good combo.
If you had to eat that with your eyes closed, and if you have to eat that with your eyes closed, what picture does it paint in your mind?
Not a normal question.
It's not a normal soup.
Cabin in the woods.
Nice. Like a murder cabin?
Maybe after the soup. Over the recipe.
Oh.
So we need to interrupt this broadcast. Come to you live 2 years later after the filming of this. The man formerly known as Kieran has transformed into Chad. Chad just wants to tell you that I forgot I made this video. I'm editing videos right now while we're on the road because we're at a hotel right now. I forgot to post it, so surprise, welcome to my tiny house. It's actually sort of sad because we got politely kicked out of that tiny house because it was never really meant to be lived in. It was an Airbnb, but we lived there for like a year and a half. And it's a little bittersweet to see me rocking a recipe in that kitchen. I miss that place, I'm not gonna lie. And it was so cheap. Oh my God, we paid like nothing for it. And it was a really cool spot. Just thought I'd make that clear. I didn't really have an ending for it, so I wanted to cut this in there. Oh, I'm sorry.